So I'm making this video to explain a few things and to not have to have individual conversations. I'm just going to upload this on YouTube and it's just going to be what it is. This video is about my 3 kids and their mothers. And I have a shitty family. Let's call it what it is. Shitty. Mother, sister, stepsister, or half sister. They know nothing about loyalty. They know nothing about honesty. And all of them are so goddamn grimy and impure. And it's almost laughable that they feel like they could actually judge me in the things that they've heard about, not that they've talked to me about. This is what this video is about. For me, it's kind of crazy how if you hear something about somebody, you don't pick up the phone and call and ask, what's that? Is that what went down? Blah, blah, blah. You hear one story and you run with it. Why? I'm not some fucking serial killer, child molester, fucking, I'm not Bin Laden's partner in life. I mean, it's just like, it befuddles me because I'm just not built like that. You know what I mean? Like, I've always had the experience where if somebody tells me somebody else is an asshole, I hear you. I pay attention to what you're saying. But until I meet that person and they're an asshole to me, they're not an asshole. That's just your experience with them. That's what that is. I'm a very logical person. I don't believe in, crazy emotions and all this bullshit. People try to make me out to be some angry dude, and I just laugh at that because I'm so fucking chill. My mother is one of the most... Well, first of all, let me speak on this real quick. My mother, when she raised me, she did her best. She made mistakes, but she's just not a good person today. Since I've been an adult, she's been a shitty fucking mother to me. She's done things to make my life harder. She's made choices to go against me. And then she wonders why I show absolutely zero allegiance to her. Because it's not my job. If somebody wakes me up and sets my bed on fire and, beats me with a baseball bat while I'm running around with fire on, I'm not going to turn around and buy them chocolates and roses. I'm not built that way. It's just one of the weirdest things that my mother is such a nasty individual, and she's got the world fooled. She's got her church group fooled that she's one of the nicest, sweetest old ladies on this planet. But my mother is one of those people that won't even have a conversation with you. She won't even talk to you about things she did wrong. Okay, did you hear what I just said? She won't even have a fucking conversation with you. Whereas all 3 of my kids, I told them, I said, have a conversation with me. I'll talk to you about anything. I don't care if it's drugs, sex, violence, anything. I don't know, incest. I'll have a conversation with my kids about anything. You know what I mean? My kids are born of this bitch ass generation where they expect everything and give nothing and don't want to work for shit. And that's amazing that these people are the same people who judge me. That's the shit that blows my mind. You know what I mean? Like, they don't even know what's going on in my life. They hear one thing and they run with it. And I'm not here to tell anybody what's going on in my life other than the fact that I'm living real fucking good. Like, for real. I went to the Maldives for my 50th birthday. Okay? You can't be poor and do that shit. I'm having a fucking blast. And my life has been amazing. Ever since I got rid of this, I made a mistake and got with this girl for 4 years, younger girl, 19 years younger than me. And I didn't see it as a mistake at the time, but she was, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a mental case. Depressed. I knew she was depressed when I met her. Took her to a psychiatrist, sat outside her in the car for her appointment anytime she went, because she wanted me to go with her. She could drive herself. She was like, no, I want you there. Come out feeling sad. But okay, I'll do that for you. When I love somebody, I'm all in. You know what I mean? But then this girl, when we broke up, when I asked her for a fucking divorce, she turns around. This is crazy to me. And, like, contacting my kids and telling them stories. And I'm like, Wow. Okay. Now that's on you. That's you want whatever. But what's really stanky about that? Stanky. That's a new word. Stanky. Is that um, none of my kids called me to ask me, is that what happened? They just took that shit and ran with it. And it's just like, wow. Like I even had a friend, right? I even had a friend. Look, my attitude is this. If you don't come to me and ask me a question, you don't even give me a chance to tell you the other 50% of the story. Because you know when you get in a story, you got to expect that you're only going to get the half that that person wants to tell you. But there's a whole other side to the story. And if you're so dense in the head that you don't believe there's another side of the story, and you just believe the first person that talks to you, I'm not running to no one on this planet trying to fucking plead my case. My attitude is respect me and we'll be cool. If you don't respect me, fuck off. I don't give a fuck. And I don't give a fuck who you are when I say that. You could be my kids, my mother, anybody. It doesn't fucking matter. So, it's really odd that my kids, I'm trying to think of how deep I should go into talking about my kids, because at this point it's not about, caring about what they feel or what they, embarrassing them or anything like that. I don't give a fuck. These fucking brats I have fucking talk shit and run around, and I just don't engage with them on that level. Like my daughter that I raised, right? Had her with me for 18 years, raised her. I mean, when I say raised her better than her mother did. And her mother was in the house, just a piece of shit mom, straight up piece of shit. In fact, let me put it this way. She would even say on multiple different occasions, you two don't even need me here. You just need somebody to cook for you and somebody to do her hair, and you guys are set for life. And we both sat at the table like, yeah, that's kind of it. Pretty much. My daughter came to me when she had her first period. She left from the third floor where her mother was in a different room and walked downstairs to show me that she's on her period. Why? Because she knew Daddy would handle it. My daughter would, on multiple occasions, run through the house going, Daddy, you're my favorite person in the world. You know what I mean? But it's just so funny how people can be brainwashed, and that's the weak here. The ones that are weak in the head, those are the ones that are brainwashed so easily. This isn't about me trashing my kids. This is about me putting a mirror to their face. That's what this is about. So let's start with my son's mother, okay? Probably, I'd probably say the best relationship of my three kids' moms that I've had between the three of them, okay? But she's crazy. And my son even told me that he tried to come live with me when he was 12 or 13 or something like that. And she was using me as a threat up until that point. And then all of a sudden when he turned around, he was like, yeah, call him, please. Told you I don't want to live with you anymore. When he came out to my house when he was 18, you should have heard the stuff he talked about, the shit he talked about his mother. Because I already knew what he was dealing with. I already knew it. But and you could throw stones in my glass house, right? You could say, oh, he's OCD clean, or as if that's a bad thing, right? I don't know. I guess that's the only thing I think. I guess my daughter watched her mother physically attack me so many times. In fact, I have a scar. Where is it? I think it's right here. Wait, I don't know if you can see it on camera. Let me see if I could cut the light on, but I'll do it this way and see. Oh, shit. Let me see real quick. I'm gonna flash this around so you can see my wrist. Hold on 1 second. There we go. You see that scar right there? Okay. What that's from? My daughter's mother threw a tube television at me. I'm not a guy that holds on to that negativity or even tries to remember it. So my daughter got in the car when she was like 5 or 6. She goes, Daddy, I picked her up from school. She goes, Daddy, why'd you get that scar on your wrist? I said, damn, baby, I don't know. I don't remember. She goes, I do. I said, really? What? How? She goes, Mommy threw a TV at you. Did I call the police? No. I've never called the police on any woman in my life. My youngest kid's mom, her name is Ayesha Warden. Warden? I think her name is Warden, I think. I don't even remember, but it's something like that. But her maiden name was Fazli, right? Fazli. This girl was the most violent person I've ever been with. She threw dishes at me on 2 different occasions. She would constantly try to kick me, punch me, scratch me, just because, like, not because I was doing anything to her physically, but because I flirted with a girl in front of her. And by the way, when she calls flirting, is I smiled at the fucking waitress when she was going to take her order. Oh my God, how dare I do that? How dare I smile at a woman? Unbelievable. What should I have done? Should I have gone, bring my food, bitch? Should I have done that? And then we're eating all type of fucking bodily fluids in the meals. You know what I mean? It's just one of the weirdest, craziest things in my life and I just don't feel like people that are lesser than me up here, that I should even have to explain myself to them. If you show me zero loyalty, I don't give a fuck what you think about me. I really don't. If I don't love you, I don't give a fuck what you think about me. You could think I am Saddam Hussein's first cousin. I don't give a fuck. Think that all you want. It doesn't matter to me. You're trash. You're fucking trash. And if you've allowed yourself to be manipulated against your own dad, then you're trash as well. Simple as that. Now, if you are the type of young person that wants to have a rational, intelligent conversation with your parent, unlike what my mother would do with me or my sister, then I'll listen to you and we can talk. But I'm not trying to kiss my kid's ass. I'm not trying to explain myself to them. I'm their fucking father. You show me the respect or you don't. But if you don't, you and I are not going to have anything else to talk about. Simple as that. Anyway, so Toni, my son's mother, did some really fucked up shit and then actually went into court and said that it never happened, basically. And that stank. The fact that my son asked me that like 18 years later, right, about that story. And I was just like, why is he even asking me this? You know what I mean? You would think that his mother would have been honest with him too. Obviously not. Moving on, whatever. My biggest guilty thing is I dealt with the wrong women in life. I really looked for more physical beauty rather than inner beauty. But, you know, those are the choices you make when you're 20 years old, when you're 25, when you're 18. That's the dum-dum of being young. You know what I mean? You're not looking for your forever wife. You're looking for the person that looks good right then and there, you know? So that was that, right? My daughter's mother, not Ayesha. Her name was Tasheka Charles, and she changed her name to Charlie Carson. She is first of all, she's ignorant as shit. She couldn't even write. She would get emails at her job, and then she would ask me to read the email and respond to it, and then all she would do is copy and paste the shit and send it back. That's who she was. I had to force her. I had to do her resume for her. I had to force her in the mentality of thinking like past wherever she is. She was an LVN. That was the roof for her, right? Finally got her to go for a director's job. Shortly after that, that's when she left, which I'm not tripping about because trust me, I paid $50,000 for the house, down payment for the house we had. I feel like that's money well spent. I feel so happy I spent that money. You know why? Let me explain to you why. Because I lost the house, you know. That's a whole nother story. But I didn't lose it because of me. Because an asshole that was living there, Charlie Carson, she's the one that turned around and left and then didn't pay anything. And wanted me to keep paying. And then she wanted to go 50-50 on the split. And I'm like, no. The deal was before I get my 50 back, we pay for our daughter's college, and then we split what's left. Simple as that. And she wanted to rework the deal. Not happening. So that was like, but you know, when you know somebody for 20 years, you don't think you have to put shit down in a contract. You know what I mean? You don't think you have to, but c'est la vie. So that was that. When she left the house, I felt elated. Oh my God. And quiet as kept. In the bedroom she used to sleep in, I did some shit back there with multiple different women, and I fucked that bed up. That bed was fucked up. Oh man, the memories from when she first left the house. God. I had this flight attendant that I had met, and she came by. Fucking sexy. Oh my God. Anyway. Oh yeah, I could get into that, but I'm not. This isn't a pump myself up video. This is to shoot to my kids. But Jesus Christ, man, I had fun in that house for about a year after that. It was so much fun, and it was, my kid doesn't know this, but let me tell you this is another thing. So the day that they came by with the constables to the house, they didn't know that was literally the day I was going to be moving out of that house. I had everything out the walls. I took the refrigerator, the double oven, the cooktop, the microwave, the dishwasher, all that. It was all built in, and I took it all out. All right. Sold it. I made my money back and then some. I mean, I lived good for, off of that house. So there's always another way to, I sold everything up in there. The Bowflex, the TVs, the everything, you know what I mean? Except for the beds. I wasn't about to sell that bed to anybody. That's just grimy. I couldn't do that. But anyway, so it just so happened that day was a day my daughter comes by. Anyway, she ends up, I don't think she meant to punch me, but the constable saw her hit me, and I didn't even know she did. We were just kind of dancing around, spinning around circles because she was trying to force her way into the house, and I wasn't about to let her in the house because I didn't want her to get in there and destroy anything or tear things up because everything was packed up. Everything was packed up or sold, and I wasn't about to go through the drama. You know what I mean? Of this is my moving day. I'm not about to get into it with my daughter over some dumb shit. She coming there looking for photo albums when I emailed her. And I was it multiple times asking her, hey, do you want anything else out of the house? She never responded. Then a year later, you show up? Over 365 days later, you show up looking for shit? The fuck out of here. All that shit was given to Goodwill or in the trash or sold to somebody else. I sold the Nintendo. I sold everything. The Wii. I'm sorry, not the Nintendo. But anyway. That sounds like somebody dropped something at the front door. Give me a second. Sorry, this is not what I wanted to do. I didn't want to interrupt this. Oh yeah, they did. I got a package. Let's see. All right. So, getting back to it. I think I know what this is. Yep, this is mine. Cool. All right, so now, so getting past all that, trying to think. So that's enough with that lady, right? And then now this is the kicker, right? So I'm got to go back and tell a little bit of this story, but you'll understand why it's got to make sense. My relationship that I had when I was 18 to like 22, 23, 22, I think, or 21, somewhere around there, we broke up. That was with the Pakistani girl named Ayesha Fazli at the time. Now she's Walden. Walden, that's her name. Ayesha Walden. She got married. And so we broke up. It was probably, I had my two kids. My second kid was born probably no less than 6 months after this situation, right? Me and my daughter's mother we weren't together at all, but trying to do the right thing, come together as parents, right? Sorry, dust on the screen. So what happens is, I'm trying to remember. I'm driving home one day, and I had moved into a neighborhood that was near Ayesha's mother's house. And I see this girl jogging on the opposite side of the street on the left side, right? And I'm driving. So I'm coming up from behind her, basically. But she's jogging on the opposite, across the street, but going with the traffic I'm going with. So I see her, and I'm like, oh, shit. I didn't know it was her, right? So I pull over further up, like a half a block up, and I get out the car, spit my thing. I'm like 22, I think, at the time. Somewhere around there, young. And I'll actually tell you the whole story on that because this is kind of important. And my youngest daughter needs to understand what the truth is. And I think this video is more for her than any three of my three kids. I fought for my son in court for 7 years. Spent the money on an attorney. Stayed with my daughter for 18 years, raised her. But this other kid, her name is Aneesa. So her mother is Ayesha. So what happens is as I get out the car, her mother Ayesha comes running across the street, goes, oh my God, she hugs me. And I'm freaked out because this is the most violent person I've ever been with in my life. Not afraid of her, just don't want any more bullshit drama. That's where I was coming from, you know what I mean? But when she was happy, she was cool. But whenever something didn't go her way, because she's spoiled as fuck, she's beautiful, you know what I mean? She's got that pretty girl mentality, if you don't fucking do what I say or do what I want you to do in the time I give you to do it, I give you the time to do it, then it's going to be a problem. You know what I mean? Rage out, Hulk smash. That's who she was. And she was 5 feet tall too, tiny little woman. So she comes over, grabs me by the neck, and I'm like, oh shit, if I had known it was you, I would have kept on driving. You know what I mean? Like I'm frozen. So she's like, what are you doing over here? And I said, I live over there. She goes, you moved over here and you didn't tell me? I said, Ayesha, do you remember the last thing you said to me on the phone? Like 4 or 5 years ago? Fuck off, don't call me anymore, you're an asshole, blah, 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 blah. She looks at me, she goes, oh, that was so long ago, no big deal. What? You know what I mean? Like, why would I call you after that? You know what I mean? So anyway, she's like, show me where you live. And I said, oh, over there. She goes, show me. And I went, okay. Like, I was just more trying to keep everything dissipated, calm. That's where I was coming from. And so I drive her up to the apartment, and it's like, how you have the 2 bedrooms. You have like 2 down below and 2 up top. You know what I mean? And I said, I live right there. She goes, which one? I looked at her, I said, bottom right. And she goes, you're going to invite me in? And I was like, I never even, swear to God, didn't see this shit coming. Because by the way, she's engaged to a guy to be married. I forgot to tell you this. She's engaged to a guy to be married. His name was Arturo. That's what it was. And he's a Latin dude. And I knew she was together with somebody else. You know what I mean? So I'm like, so I invite her in. I swear to God, I don't even remember closing the front door. She jumped on me. We start kissing. And we've always had that electric, like, physical towards each other. How you just find a person and it works. You know what I'm saying? It just works. And I'm sure, I'm 50 now, so I'm sure if Ayesha's watching this or anybody else that's older is watching this, understands exactly what I'm talking about. Every girl you have sex with is not going to be a hit out the park. You know what I mean? It's chemistry sometimes. It just works sometimes. With some, and others it's just like, okay. I'd rather stick my dick in a hole in the wall or something. Anyway, so we have sex, right? Okay. About a month later, she calls me up. She goes, hey, I got some news. I said, oh, what's up? She goes, I'm pregnant. And I said, oh, congratulations. I said, is Arturo happy? And she goes, what'd you say? I said, didn't you just tell me you're pregnant? And she goes, yeah. And I said, well, I'm asking if your fiance is happy or not. What do you, she goes, it's fucking yours, asshole. This is what she says to me. This is how she was. She was just a fucking Tasmanian devil. That whole thing spinning around. That's who she was. So I started laughing because I genuinely thought she was fucking with me. I started laughing. I was just like, yeah, okay, whatever. Yeah, it's mine. Okay, cool. She goes, what the fuck are you laughing at? Like that, like in that tone. And I said, wait, are you being serious? And she goes, yeah. And I said, No bullshit, no joking. I said, you being serious or you fucking with me? She goes, I'm serious. And I said, I want a paternity test. Do you know what happened after that? She started cussing me out, called me every name in the book, screamed at me, and hung up in my face. That to me doesn't sound like it's a woman who knows it's mine. So I'm just going to keep with the chronological order, though, so everyone gets it here. Because this is the way I feel like my daughter is only going to get the truth out of this video. She'll never get it from her mother, bottom line. In fact, her mother told her for 18 years that she was immaculately fucking conceived. Had my daughter thinking she was born to the Virgin Mary or some shit. Like, it's just, I looked at her and I said, you believe that? And she goes, well, yeah. You know, that's the one thing about Ayesha. She'll lie, man. I've never met a liar like her. She really genuinely gives a fuck about what people think about her. Whereas I'm just the opposite. I don't give a fuck what you think about me. I really don't. I don't need anyone's approval. You know what I'm saying? As long as I can look myself in the mirror, and by the way, I'm very critical of myself, right? It says, I'm the only king. Anyway, she hangs up in my face. That's the end of it, right? 6 years later, she calls me up and says, hey, can you meet me in a restaurant? Now, by this time, she's married to the guy she's married to now, right? Or possibly still married to, because I've heard a lot of stuff. And I'm going to talk about that shit in this video, too. Oh, yeah. Man, the stuff you come across by accident is amazing in life. You know what I mean? It's just amazing. Anyway, and this is all, Aneesa needs to know this stuff. You know what I mean? Because Aneesa had literally told, well, I don't want to jump ahead. I'll stick with the chronological order. 6 years later, I meet her at this restaurant. She starts pulling out all this paperwork. And we're talking about, getting reacclimated with each other. And then she goes, I said, what's all that? She goes, oh, these adoption papers. I said, for what? And she goes, well, I want you to sign Aneesa over because Rodney wants to adopt her. And I said, why the hell would you need my signature? You know what I mean? And she goes, because I put you down on the birth certificate as a father. Wow. It is amazing the lack of laws there are to protect a man. And if you've never had kids, then shut the fuck up because you don't even know what the fuck I'm saying. When you have a kid and you've gone through a divorce, you understand what I'm talking about right now. Every man right now is nodding his head. Every man in America is nodding his head with me, okay? But if you've never had a kid or you've never gone through, breaking up and wanting to get custody or whatever, shut the fuck up. Your opinion doesn't matter. Because I used to be that true blue, I'm a good guy. I've never been arrested. I'm a good person, blah, 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 blah. I'm a great dad. Shit. Of course, don't care about that shit. They don't. Anyway, so I try to contain myself. And I said, why would you put me down as a father on a birth certificate? And now I start going over in my mind. I'm like, oh, shit, now we're playing chess because this ain't checkers anymore with her. You know what I mean? So I'm like, okay, well, I know it's not my kid. Yeah, I'll sign over it. Releases me legally. I'm good. We both go our own way. So that meeting ended great. You know what I mean? In fact, the guy from CSI, Nick Stokes, the white dude on the show, Las Vegas, we saw him in the parking lot and he took a couple of pictures of me and Ayesha together that day. And Ayesha, she looks at me with stars in her eyes, you know what I mean? And by the way, I'm not trying to make it sound like it's one way. It's just something her and I have, That's just the way it is. You find that one person in life, maybe two, possibly three, but, you get that one for sure. And so maybe about 12 years later, which is about, let's see, she's 25 now. So 7 years ago, I get contacted by Ayesha again. Now she tells me that my daughter wants to meet me. And I'm thinking to myself, why the fuck are you lying to this kid, telling her that I'm her dad? Let me explain. Her parents, which really always baffles me, their first preference for their daughter was that her husband be Pakistani, right? Second would be a white guy. Like, why would you want a white guy? Well, okay, whatever. In their own head, because they have zero self-esteem. They think white people are so fucking great. You know what I mean? Yeah. The same people that run the numbers and are highest in statistics for like fucking rape, for child molestation, for serial killing, for cannibalism. Those white people? Oh, yeah, sure. Now I understand why you... What the fuck? What? It's just one of the dumbest fucking things I've ever heard. But anyway, so Ayesha had a thing for black guys. You know what I mean? We're just good-looking dudes. We have our own style. That's just the way we roll. And so I knew of at least one other black guy she was fucking, right? And that's just the one I knew about. Doesn't mean that's the only one she was fucking. So when it came down to it, I think she went with the fact that she told him it was mine because she had a relationship with me, and her parents would accept that excuse a little bit more than her getting pregnant from some random black guy. You feel me? Because, I'm the guy the family knew for 4 years and blah, 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 blah. So anyway, so when the youngest girl, Aneesa, is 18, she says she wants to meet me. So I start making messages to her and attacking the situation like, oh my God, I didn't know I had this kid, which I didn't think she was mine. I really didn't. In fact, and I'll get to it in a second, you'll understand. But in fact, my attitude is if you knew it was mine, then why didn't you have another conversation with me about it? You know what I mean? Like, she always wanted me to kiss her ass. She always wanted me to run behind her. She was always super fucking emotional. She would always cuss me out and scream and cry and hang up. And in the beginning, for the first maybe few months, I would, be the one going, hey, baby, are you all right? Blah, blah. And then it got to a fucking thing where I'm like, oh, this is what she does. Oh, this is manipulation. Okay. And I was 18 when this was going on. You know what I mean? So I'm learning myself. And I finally figure out that she's just crazy like that. You know what I mean? If she's spoiled brat, if she doesn't get her way, she becomes violent like a 2-year-old child. It's just ridiculous. This woman threw plates at me on 2 different occasions. You know what I'm saying? And it's just wild, some of the stuff she's done. It's just crazy. But anyway, as adults, we haven't had any, physical interaction, so it's all good. But I mean, it's just crazy, the stuff I dealt with when I was like, I want to say a kid. A kid is 18, grown adult, but still a kid. But anyway, so we are trying to remember. So, trying to remember where I left off. Oh, yeah. So I'm getting to know my daughter. I'm sending her voice messages, telling her who I am as a man, who her brother and sister are, all that stuff. And my daughter was she was at UCLA trying to be a doctor. So I get, her time was, but it was one of those things where I realized she's a lot like her mom. She's spoiled and wants things done her way. And if you don't get on board with the way she does things, then you fuck off. So I was sending her messages, and one time she told me, she goes, oh no, I didn't like that message, so I didn't listen to the rest of it. What? Wow, I'm trying to get to know you and we're trying to get to know each other, and you selectively just delete something or stop listening to it. I'm like, you know what, fuck off. I'm tired trying to put the effort out there. I was trying to be a good dad to a girl that's 18 already, you know what I mean? And so finally we met, right? Oh no, I'm sorry. That part came after the meeting. Wait. Yeah, because we met in person and we hung out for the day. Okay. So this is the thing that's kind of crazy. When I meet her, I'm looking at her and I'm like, I don't see it. I just don't see that this is my kid. You know what I mean? When I saw pictures of her, when I saw her in person, I was still in question about whether or not this was my kid. Up until the point where we went to go eat at my favorite little joint out in Santa Monica. And she ordered this big ass chicken sandwich, and she got tiny little hands. And I started laughing because her hands were so small. How was she going to get this big ass burger in her hands and then open up her mouth to bite the burger? So I'm laughing my ass off, you know what I mean? And she goes, are you laughing at me? And I said, yeah. I said, this wasn't the first time I met you today. I said, I'd be videotaping you right now because I just want to know how you're going to fit this burger in your mouth. She's 5'2" and dainty and small, just like my other daughter. My other daughter's 5'6" though. Anyway, so, while she picks up this burger her hands, it's like a donkey kicked me in my stomach underneath the table. I realized her hands were identical to my daughter's hands. Identical. And let me explain what I mean. You could chop their hands off at the wrist, swap them, and their hands are legit the same. And my hand's not small. You know what I mean? It's not giant, but it's not. It doesn't look like a woman's hand. You know what I mean? Like, you know, there you go. You know, I'm 6'3", and I can cover my hand with my. You know. So anyway, so my daughter's hands are tiny and dainty and like little baby hands. The one I raised, and then to see this one, I saw her hands. I was, oh my God! I was like, is this my daughter? Like I was tripping. So then shortly after that, that's when we had the conversation about, you know, oh, I didn't listen to that message, blah, 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 blah. I didn't like what I was hearing. Like, what do you mean you didn't like? Like everything needs to be liking to her. Like she lives in a world that Ayesha lives in, which is very odd. Everything that you hear isn't going to be to your liking, and everything you hear is not going to be based towards your ego or towards your liking. Sometimes you want to learn and listen to other people with adversity to learn more about life. But these two women, Ayesha and Aneesa, mother and daughter, are very much like the same. Stubborn as fuck, ignorant as fuck, and they love to stay stuck on stupid. That's the way I see it. And so I just gave up on trying to even be a father to her, because she told me when we were sitting there at that restaurant, she goes, and this is the conversation, here we go. So she goes, okay, so I know that you fought for my brother for like 7 years in court, and I know you stayed with my sister all her life. She goes, so what about me? And I said, I didn't know you were mine. And she goes, that's bullshit. My mother told me, she told you, baby, you're a liar. I said, stop. I said, first of all, don't call me a liar. I said, secondly, and I told the conversation from earlier that I've already gone on the video here, maybe 10 minutes ago, I talked about it, about, you know, the paternity test. And she's going, and I said, so after the paternity test thing, I said, she hung up in my face. I said, so let me ask you a question, because she had a boyfriend I met that day, right? I said, let's say Mike, I forget the kid's name, let's call him Mike. Let's say Mike, you and Mike are together and you guys are having sex and you get pregnant right now. I said, would you tell him? She goes, yeah. And I said, okay. I said, and what if he asked you for a paternity test? What would you say? She goes, I would give it to him. And I said, oh. I said, why would you give it to him? And she goes, because I know it's his. And I went, oh, Now, a little caveat to the story. Ayesha had told me when I got in contact with our daughter that she didn't want me to tell her anything negative about anything from our past. You know why? Because she was a fucking psychopath. And she was the most violent woman I've ever been with. And she was fucking batshit insane. And she didn't want me to paint the picture, the real picture, that her mom's not some pure fucking, you know, Muslim girl from Pakistan, born and raised in America. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I wanted to paint the real picture because I don't lie about shit. So I said, okay. But I gave her my word. I wouldn't say anything negative. So my way of dealing with that was I said, so, After she said that, she goes, are you saying? I said, I didn't say anything. I said, She goes, are you saying my mother had sex with somebody? I said, I don't see a problem with anyone asking for a paternity test. I said, there shouldn't be a problem. Prove it to me that it's my kid, and then I'm in it for the long haul. I'm cool with that. You know what I mean? But don't sit here and try to, play me, like, and put me down on the birth certificate and I'm supposed to play daddy. No, fuck that. I want to know that if this kid is really mine. And I said, from the woman I thought I knew, I thought she never would have raised you without me in her life. And I said, so that just shows my bad judgment for the person that I thought she was. And I said, fooey on me for that. I got played as a fool. But I said, it wasn't because a lack of fucking caring or loving. No, it wasn't that at all. I said, but fact is if you 100% know for sure that somebody is, the father, then you don't have a problem giving a paternity test, do you? And she goes, no. And I said, oh, okay. She goes, so you saying? I said, I'm not saying anything, because again, I had given my word to the mother, Ayesha, about, not fucking telling the real deal of the whole situation. So anyway, that whole situation ended. Oh, and she told me, this one part I want to tell you. So my youngest daughter, Aneesa, she said to me, I know it's irrational and I know it's not right. She goes, I understand everything you're telling me. She goes, but my mother raised me and I'm angry, so I need to be angry at someone. And I said, and that someone is me. And she goes, yeah. And I said, okay. Like, I can't, as long as you know it's not rational, I mean, I can't change your anger. I can't make you not be angry at me. You know what I mean? Like, what am I supposed to do with that? So, the conversation dissipated after that. We haven't talked in years, and that's on her. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to run behind young people and, oh, please, please, please talk to me. Please, please, please. Let's work this out. No. At some point, you're going to grow up, you're going to mature and learn that a conversation, somebody talks, the other one listens, and then it goes vice versa. And that's the way you learn. That's the way you grow. You know what I mean? I'm not going to sit here and argue with a fucking 25-year-old or at the time an 18-year-old about, who's right and who's wrong, because you don't even know the whole fucking story about your mother. You don't know the violent fucking crazy bitch she was, straight up. Okay? So anyway, that was that. I'm trying to think, is there anything else? Yeah, I guess that's it. I can't really think of anything else. But basically, I'm just going to upload this on YouTube, and I'm going to put my kids' names in the hashtag. I'm going to tag them, and I'm going to, I'm just going to let it be what it is. And I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with any of my kids. I think they are emotionally immature, and this generation is so simple in the head. They'll believe anything. If you tell them 2 and 2 equals 5, they're like, yeah, my friend said that, and it triggered me. Everybody's triggered by something. It's just like, get the fuck out. You don't even know what real trauma is, by the way. I'll tell my 3 kids, you don't know shit about real trauma, okay? Like, you guys didn't grow up in a house where somebody was molesting you, beating you, mistreating you, neglecting you. You weren't starved. You had clothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, get the fuck out of here with all that bullshit, trigger shit. Say that for them little pasty ass white kids who like fucking love to walk around in black and blame everybody else for their issues. But no, I don't buy it. I've seen kids be traumatized when I lived in the hood in Watts. That shit is traumatizing. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even saying I'm traumatized by it. I've seen other kids though in the neighborhood, and it was really, really bad for them. And nowadays it's almost cool to say you were traumatized by something. Wham, boo-hoo, weep, weep, weep. Get the fuck out of here with your sad shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, grow a fucking spine. Life hasn't even challenged you guys yet. But I love how you think you can judge me. Nah, I don't let you judge me. You aren't anybody to you know what? Fuck off. I really feel that way. Fuck off. Because I'm not going to kiss anyone's ass on this planet. It doesn't matter who genetically I'm connected to or not. Oh, and by the way, one other thing. On 23andMe, come to find out, my 3rd daughter and my son, not the one I raised, but those 2 kids, the oldest and the youngest, they are connected to me on 23andMe. So that's kind of funny because, like, if I had known that, 20-something years ago, then I would have been there. You know what I mean? But I don't feel like I should have to chase a woman down to give me a paternity test. You don't want to give me a paternity test, and you're telling me it's not mine, straight up. Ayesha does not want her daughter, Aneesa, to know how she was throwing her pussy around and how she was fucking multiple men. She wants to paint this picture that she was some prude, Pakistani, respectful woman. And by the way, I'm not saying she was a slut. I'm just saying, let's be real. Let's be real. You wasn't pure. You were sucking dick and fucking guys. And let's just call it what it is. You are a normal fucking American, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23-year-old. That's just the way it is. But I refuse to sit here and play this game anymore and holding people's confidences while they're shit talking me behind my back. And because I don't have a relationship to call them up and be like, hey, well, that's not right. That's not right. Then it just, the story lives on. You know what I mean? I'm like, no, fuck that. Before I die, at least I'm putting this out there. And if one of them looks up, because I look at it like this, if one of them sees it, all 3 of them are going to see this. Straight up. I know that for a fact. They're like hive mind. All of them, my 3 kids are just connected. It's just so fucking like, I won't judge that. I'll leave that because there's a lot more I could say about that, but I'm not going to, that's not cool. Anyway, so yeah, it took about 45 minutes, and I appreciate anyone who sat here and watched this and went through it. And there's so many facts I left out because of time restraint. I didn't want to sit here and do a 2-hour video, you know what I mean? But I did want to go over my years, between the ages of like, let's say 17 to 25 and explain what the real deal was, I'll just wrap up to say my last relationship, she was a mental case who stopped taking her medication. And what's really crazy about it is to me, right? If somebody calls me up and says, like, my friend Jeff, I'm gonna use him as an example, former friend Jeff. If somebody's talking shit about Jeff to me, I'm gonna remember to call him right after I get off the phone and be like, hey, this broad is spreading these rumors about you, blah, 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 blah. Does he do that? No. Does he do that the next day? No. So I call him up and I'm like, hey man, what's the word? Oh yeah, I forgot. And she said all this nasty shit about you. I'm like, are you serious? Check, or I should say not check, but X. I'm done with him. I have ixnayed and cut dead weight, cut the fat, and I'm so happy. I have cut the fat out of my life. I am extremely happy. I've been to Austin this year. I've been to the Maldives. I'm going to Vegas this weekend. I'm going to Hawaii in October. I'm going to Miami in December and also to the Caribbean in December. And I'm having a fucking blast. I just came back from Seattle about 6 months ago. But I've been having a ball, a blast. You know what I mean? Life is good. And I'm not stressed anymore about shit. So to me, I never cared about what my kids thought about me because my attitude is have a conversation with me to get to know me. You know what I mean? If you just want to believe all the negative that you hear, then you go right on the head. But if you're so simple in the head where you don't even think to go, oh, wait a minute, well, that is his ex-girlfriend. Like, we don't think about it like this, right? Us people in life, we don't go to our exes and get references for the next relationship. You know what I mean? The ex is the ex for a reason. Duh. But my kids are so simple-minded. They'll listen to anybody about anything as long as they say something to back up their fucking narrative that they stacked in their own mind because they've never had a conversation with me about anything. Then they want to sit there and be like, yeah, I knew he was a bad guy. Get the fuck out of here. I've never treated my son wrong. Never. Not one time. I've never done my daughter wrong, the one I raised. And Aneesa, I tried and did everything I could in that situation without just looking fucking truly pathetic trying to chase behind a child. You know what I mean? With this, she thinks she's smarter than she is. She's a smart kid, but she's, I know you know what I'm talking about. If you're anywhere over 40, you have a child in your life or you know someone else's child who believes they are the smartest person in the room. Now, how can you be the smartest person in the room when you don't listen and take in any of anything? And when something doesn't sound right to your ears, you go, nah, not gonna listen, nah. I mean, seriously. So how smart can you fucking be? And it's, it's really shameful, disgusting. My youngest, Aneesa, she wanted to be a fucking psychiatrist or some shit like that. Wow. Are you shitting me? That would be like me wanting to, I don't know, do gay makeup on movie sets. I don't know fucking shit about that. You know what I mean? And I'm not equipped for that shit. You know what I mean? But this girl, this young lady, seems to think she should be helping people. Help yourself first, man. Help yourself first. If you're damaged up here, you can't fucking help anybody else. Your advice is fucking... And if people knew who the fuck you really were, they would never come see you. More power to you. Do whatever you can in life. You know what I'm saying? More power to you. But I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, thank you so much. Anyone and everybody that's watched this video, you can judge me however you want. I don't have a problem with it because I don't give a fuck. I really don't. I look at myself on a daily basis. And if I've done something wrong, I will be in my own head about it. You know what I mean? and I'll make sure I don't repeat my mistakes. I always say a fool repeats his mistakes, and I have not been called a fool ever since I lived with my mother. My mother was very verbally fucking abusive, so she called me every name in the book. Stupid, fool, motherfucker, asshole, all that. Oh, yeah. That's just, oh, by the way, that's my mother. She's religious. Yeah, church-going woman. She'll say that shit to her kids, right? It's beautiful. And I'm not even talking about the fucking physical abuse I got. Welts on my body, like with her traffic officer belt and my uncle's police belt that are, I don't know if anybody knows, an equipment belt is a fucking heavy leather strap, about that thick, okay? And it's about that in width size. And if you get beat with that, it brands you, basically. You can read the branding. I had on multiple different occasions, I had welts that were probably about that high off my skin, and you could read the maker of the belt in my skin. Yeah, that's what I dealt with. But I don't sit here and talk about I'm triggered, I'm traumatized, weep, cry. Fuck you bitches, grow the fuck up. Life gives you adversity and you gotta fucking take it on the chin like a champ and keep on rolling. On that, I'm out. I'm fucking pleased with this video. I appreciate anybody who sat and listened to it. And much love. Take care of yourself. And if you're white and you think you're better than me, that's all. I just gotta laugh at you. Black people, love yourself. Appreciate that you were born black. I love my genetics. I love my people. And you got to learn to really love. I know we were put in a bad situation with slavery where we were supposedly, trained to hate ourselves and not like ourselves because we weren't white. Who the fuck wants to be white? Not this guy. What's got two thumbs and doesn't want to be white? This guy. Anyway, all right, I'm out. Oh, by the way, I'll say this one other thing. It's kind of crazy. I'm basically like 79% black and 20%, what is it? British and Scottish or some shit? British and Scottish, I think. I don't even remember, but yeah, white. European white. So yeah, I can talk about white people. I'm 1/5 white. Yeah, go believe it, right? I'm so happy I got brown. Oh, I'm so happy. Look at me. Anyway, life is good. I'm very happy. I so appreciate this opportunity. And this is a project that I wanted to do for a long time because I felt like there's just so much. I'm not going to chase anybody down to tell them the truth. You know what I mean? And there's so much stank out there and ridiculously negative stuff towards me that I'm just like, I don't care. Fuck it. But I will do a video about it. And I will set the record straight before I fucking died. Anyway, I had a conversation with my dad before he died, and it really helped me to get to this point. And it was really, my dad was a really cool dude because no matter what, he always told me, and he did for me what I wanted to do for my kids. And hopefully maybe my kids will come around. Maybe they'll want to have a conversation. That's on them. Whether they do or don't, that's on them. But I took advantage of it to be able to sit down with my old man and have a conversation with him about all the mistakes he made in his life and the things that happened and the rumors that were said and blah, 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 and this and that, and blah, blah, blickety, blah. Man, talk about healthy. I tell my dad right now, if there is a heaven, thank you so much, Pop, for giving me your heart and explaining things to me. You made me a better man, and I appreciate you. And I'm looking up to the sky, hoping he's not down below. But anyway, all right. Love everybody. I really do. I love everybody that loves me. Let's put a little asterisk next to that one. Yeah, that's my asterisk. All right, I'm out.